Are you going to work every day feeling like you're just going through the motions, feeling like you're just surviving, and yet you know that you're meant for something more, something different? If that's the case, this video is for you. And I'm Morgan Quist. I'm a leadership and life coach, and I am also your Thrival guide to partner with you to shift from surviving to thriving in your career. In today's video, we are going to talk about the first most important thing you need to do on your journey toward thriving, and then I'll talk about 3 ways on how to accomplish that. So let's dive right in. The first most important thing that you need to do is to increase your self-awareness. And by that, I mean there are beliefs that you are operating with that you have had since you were a child that are affecting your results, that are affecting your interactions with other people. So let's talk about some examples. Perhaps you had a father in your life who told you that you can't earn anything of value in this world unless you work really hard for it. Or someone may have said that people with a lot of money, their values are messed up. If you heard that, and if you heard it consistently and came to believe it yourself, and it became ingrained in you, imagine how that would affect your results now. You might feel undeserving of things that come easily to you. You might feel like you didn't work hard enough for it, so you don't deserve it and you can't accept it. Or you resist abundance because of these beliefs. Or someone else might have told you that it's an unfriendly world out there and we need to always be protecting ourselves. If that's the case, you may be resistant to even healthy relationships, or it might affect your dynamic with your coworkers. Or you might have had a teacher who said hurtful things like you're not that smart or not that pretty or not that athletic. And you came to believe that is the case as well. So for decades, we can operate with these beliefs, and they're just part of our system. We're just assuming that they are true, and again, they're affecting our results. So what's critical about this is you cannot get unstuck from these beliefs until you're aware of them. So it's so helpful to become more conscious in this process. It will help you with every other step in the journey. So imagine you've had goals that you've had good intentions with, you might have taken action toward, but you can't seem to get over a hump or get over some barriers with this. This is the reason why. People use time and money as reasons, but really there are some fears and beliefs that are operating underneath that are affecting those results. So let's talk about 3 ways that you can increase your self-awareness. The first one is my favorite one, is to partner with a coach. And yes, I am a coach, but I also have a coach. And the reason is because a coach creates a great emotionally safe, non-judgmental environment in which we can share our honest thoughts and feelings. We can share the side of ourselves that we don't think is the most attractive side of ourselves to really increase our awareness. Coaches have the resources, the skills and tools to make this part of the process to increase consciousness and awareness in a safe environment, and it can really create some real openings for new things in your life and in your journey. So that would be number 1, is partnering with a coach. The second one is what I call observe and journal. My recommendation to you is for 2 weeks every day to observe your own interactions, thoughts and feelings and activities, and journal about them at the end of the day. To be more specific, I'd like you to identify what energized you that day, what drained you that day, and what triggered you. So when we're talking about what energized you, when throughout the day did you feel your most confident self? When were you in the moment, fully engaged, using your strengths, enjoying what you were doing? Who were you interacting with? What activities were you involved in? And write them down. Secondly, what drained you? And we all have those things in our work life and in our personal life that aren't our favorite things to do. But note what those are. Note who you interact with and when it's just draining to you, or those activities that you're involved in and you'd rather be doing something else. We're not going to be able to give those up. But as you look at your career and as you think about future steps in your career, are there areas where you can do more of what energizes you and less of what drains you? And then thirdly, what triggers you? And you might not have something that triggers you every day for 2 weeks, but I'm quite certain that something over 2 weeks will trigger you. And by that, I mean, when did someone really upset you or piss you off? You can feel it in your body. Your heart starts beating faster. Your stomach starts to churn. You can feel your blood boil. Like if somebody is a jerk in a meeting, for example, and it can get you going and you feel triggered by them. Write that down and write why you got triggered and what your feelings were. And you might say, well, because that person was a jerk in the meeting. Well, it's deeper than that, because always what's right under anger is hurt. So you want to get to that level of, I felt pissed because this person was a jerk, but what was it about that interaction? Well, I felt they dismissed my opinion, that they weren't valuing me. That's what you want to get to and write it down. And you'll notice after a 2-week pattern, or after 2 weeks, you'll notice the patterns of what energizes you, what drains you, and what triggers you. And what's cool is you can note when you're triggered, for example, you might notice like throughout your whole life, it's like, oh my gosh, because of this belief that I have, I notice that the area of conflict in my relationships is always the same, and I can see how I'm contributing to that. So it's really a cool process with this observing and journaling to increase your self-awareness. My third suggestion is to get a great book that encourages you to ask yourself great questions and increase your awareness. And I have a book which I'm going to share with you that I love. It's called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I do not get a commission for recommending this book. I just love it. In this book, you can see it's kind of a thin, short read, and it identifies 4 ways that we choose to play it small, that we choose to stay in survival mode. And I identified with 2 of them, so you'll probably identify with more than one. Most people do. And I really connected with those 2 things. And it really provides great clarity to identify what those things are that are holding us back. And then he also provides recommendations on how to move through those things in the book as well. And I have other book suggestions too. So if you're interested, you can write a comment under the video that you're interested in more book suggestions, and I would be happy to share those with you. So there you go. Increasing your awareness on what your beliefs are and what awareness that you're operating with is critical. And then 3 ways to do that: partner with a coach, observe and journal, and get a great book to help you. So there you go. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel as well as like the video or share the video. And until the next video, I will be sending you positive vibes. Again, I'm Morgan Quist. I'm a leadership and life coach, and I am also your Thrival guide, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much.